August raids, events and spotlight hours for Pokemon Go have been announced, and in this video I will be going through all of the details for the month, and I'll be going through which raids are actually worth raiding. So starting off with the 5-star raids, we have Tornadus in its incarnate form up until the 3rd of August at 10 AM, and then Moltres will be taking over until August 12th at 10 AM, and it will have a raid hour on the 7th of August. Next will be Thundurus in its incarnate form from the 12th to the 21st with a raid hour on the 14th. Following this will be Xerneas from the 21st until September 3rd, and it will have a raid hour on the 21st, and it'll have another one on the 28th. In Mega raids will be Mega Aggron up until the 3rd of August at 10 AM, and then Mega Aerodactyl will be taking over until the 12th. Following this will be Mega Kangaskhan returning up until the 21st of August. And lastly for the month will be Mega Salamence running from August 21st up until September 3rd. We will also have Mega Rayquaza in Mega raids on August 3rd at 11 AM, 1 PM and 6 PM for an hour at each time. And in 5-star Shadow raids for the month will be Shadow Suicune on Saturdays and Sundays only. Note that on the Shadow Raid weekend on the 10th and the 11th of August will be Shadow Lugia in 5-star raids instead of Shadow Suicune. I will be going through how good each of these raid bosses are and which are worth your raid passes later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. So that's it for the raids. Moving on to the events for the month, we have Adventure Week taking place from August 2nd at 10 AM until the 12th at 11:59 PM. And this event will see the return of many fossil Pokemon, some with boosted shiny rates. And if you want to know more about this event, I do have a tips video up on the channel now, so check that out. During Adventure Week on August 3rd will be a Makeup Mega Rayquaza raid event due to all of the technical issues that the Mega Rayquaza Elite raids had at the end of June. The Mega Rayquaza raids this time won't be Elite raids, they'll actually be regular Mega raids, so you will be able to remote raid Mega Rayquaza this time. The remote raid limit will be increased to 20, and you will get a timed research that will reward you with a meteorite that you can use to teach Dragon Ascent to Rayquaza so it can Mega Evolve. And as part of the Adventure Week, there will be a Team Go Rocket takeover portion of the event, which will be taking place from August 8th at 12 AM until August 12th at 11:59 PM. And for this event, you will receive a special research story that will get you a Super Rocket Radar so you can challenge and defeat Giovanni. Giovanni will also have the new Shadow Cresselia, which you can encounter and catch. Team Go Rocket Grunts will be appearing more frequently, and you will be able to use a Charge TM to remove frustration from your Shadow Pokemon. Grunts and Leaders will also have new lineups, and there'll be some new Shadow Pokemon added to the game: Shadow Tortuga, Archen and Timber. During the Team Go Rocket takeover, there will be a Shadow Raid weekend running from August 10th at 6 AM until the 11th at 10 PM, and this will feature Shadow Lugia in 5-star Shadow Raids. Remember, these raids are in person only, so you won't be able to use remote raid passes to join them, and during the fight the raid boss will enrage, so I recommend using Purified Gems to subdue the raid to make it a lot easier. It takes 8 Purified Gems to subdue a raid boss, and you can only use 5 per person, so you will need at least another player to subdue it. You can get Purified Gems by combining 4 Shadow Shards that you get from Team Go Rocket Grunts, Leaders, Giovanni and from Shadow Raids. I will have a tips video for this Team Go Rocket takeover up on the channel soon, so keep an eye out for that. Following these events will be the 2024 Pokemon World Championships and Go Battle Week Shared Skies event, which will be taking place from August 16th at 10 AM until the 20th at 8 PM. And Go Battle Week events normally feature a lot of Go Battle League meta-relevant Pokemon, so it's a great time to catch some of these Pokemon or get some candy for some that you already have. And on August 18th we do have a Community Day Classic event, which is a version of Community Day that features a Pokemon that's already had a Community Day. Following this will be the Triumph Together event from the 23rd of August up until the 30th, and lastly on the 31st of August will be August Community Day, which will be featuring Poplio. So these are all the events for the month. For the spotlight hours, which take place every Tuesday between 6 PM and 7 PM local time, we have Drillbur with 2 times catch XP on the 6th of August. On the 13th will be Leap with 2 times catch candy. On the 20th will be Mankey with 2 times transfer candy, and lastly on the 27th will be Magnemite with 2 times evolution XP. These are actually some pretty decent spotlight hours. With Drillbur we have Excadrill being the 14th best ground type attacker and the 18th best steel type attacker, and it's even better in its shadow form. Excadrill is also ranked 103 in the Master League and 87 as a shadow. The Leap doesn't have much meta relevance, but it is required for a part of the Let's Go Meltan special research, so a good chance to pick it up if you need to complete that. And as it's a 2 times catch candy spotlight hour, you could always use the Meltan mystery box during this hour to get bonus Meltan candy. Mankey is a great spotlight hour because Annihilate is currently ranked 3 in the Great League with 2 15-15 IVs. It's also ranked 27 in the Ultra League with 0 15-15 IVs, and it's ranked 53 in the Master League. So overall, a great Pokemon for Go Battle League. It's also worth tagging any Pokemon you want to transfer before the event, and then mass transferring them during this hour where there is a 2 times transfer candy bonus. And lastly, Magnemite is also useful because Magnezone is currently currently the 15th best electric type attacker. And if you don't need Magnemite, you could always spend this hour evolving Pokemon with a lucky egg active to get 4 times evolution XP. So that's it for the details for August, but how good are each of the raid bosses? Starting with 5-star raids, Tornadus in its incarnate form is at the start of the month, but it doesn't really have any meta relevance, so it is one you could just skip and save your passes on. Moltres is up next, and it is the 26th best fire type attacker, but it is the 8th best in its shadow form, so if you do have a shadow Moltres, it could be worth raiding this to get some Moltres candy to power up the shadow. And remember, you will be able to remove frustration from your shadow Moltres and other shadow Pokemon during the Team Go Rocket takeover this month. Next we have Thundurus in its incarnate form, which is currently the 22nd best electric type attacker, so not one of the best, but this could change if it gets access to Wild Bolt Storm in the future. However, this isn't a high priority to raid unless you don't have any better electric type raid attackers. Xerneas will also be returning this month, and it is the 9th best fairy type attacker, so definitely a decent Pokemon to raid if you need a fairy type attacker. However, it does want legacy move Geomancy to be at its best, but unfortunately it won't have this move when caught from these raids, so you would need to use an elite fast TM to get the move. So for the 5-star raid bosses for this month, I would probably prioritize Moltres if you need candy for Shadow Moltres. Other than that, it could be worth going for Xerneas. Moving on to the Mega raids, we have Mega Aggron to start the month, and this Pokemon is worth raiding if you haven't Mega evolved an Aggron before, because Mega Aggron is the 9th best Steel type attacker. This raid, however, is less of a priority if you already have access to Mega Scizor or Mega Lucario. Mega Aerodactyl is the 5th best Rock type attacker, so a decent choice to raid, especially if you don't have access to Mega Tyranitar or Mega Diancie, which are both ranked higher as Rock type attackers. We do also have Mega Kangaskhan this month, and this one doesn't really have any meta relevance, but it's worth going for the Dex entry because it is normally an Australian regional. So if you don't need it for the Dex and you're not looking to shiny hunt it, you can skip this one. We also have Mega Salamence, and this one could be worth raiding if you don't have access to Mega Garchomp or Mega Rayquaza, because Mega Salamence is the 3rd best Dragon type attacker and the 2nd best Flying type attacker. But as we are getting access to Mega Rayquaza on the 3rd, if you can raid those instead, I would recommend doing it because Mega Rayquaza is the best Dragon type and Flying type attacker in the game, so well worth raiding for. But if for any reason that you can't get Mega Rayquaza, Mega Salamence is also a good option. Salamence is also ranked 71 in the Master League, and Rayquaza is ranked 64 in the Master League. Of the Mega raids, I would prioritize Mega Rayquaza. It's also worth noting that if you have Mega evolved any of these Pokemon before, you can always walk any of that species as your buddy to get some extra Mega energy that way. This will save your raid passes. For the 5-star Shadow raids, Shadow Suicune unfortunately doesn't have any meta relevance, so this one is only really worth going after if you need it for the Dex or if you're shiny hunting it. And as Shadow Lugia will be available for the Shadow Raid weekend, it could be worth raiding it because it is ranked 42 in the Master League as a Shadow and ranked 27 in its regular or purified form, and it's the 13th best Flying type raid attacker. It's worth noting though that it does want legacy move Aeroblast to be at its best for both Go Battle League and as a raid attacker, and this move would require an elite charge TM to get. And with that said, there are no shortages of rare Pokemon in Pokemon Go, and if you want to know which are the rarest, then I recommend checking out this video next.